What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Soulvice. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Varsity Red. So of course I'm going to do a review on these. I'm going to let you know exactly what I think of them. And as always, you're going to be getting an on-foot look at these in 4K. But because these are so different to the Air Jordan 1 High OG pairs that we've been getting over the last few years, I'm going to do a comparison between these and my 2018 pair of Shadows. That way I can really break them down and let you know exactly what the differences are. But let's go ahead and get started with the review.
This ain't marijuana. Please don't tell my mama I'm a blackout, 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 blackout. Telling white lies while I blackout, 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 blackout. Pale white horse when I blackout, 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 blackout. Spark the white lighter than I black.
Now I'm super stoked that I was able to get a pair of these. Unfortunately, I did not get them retail, but they were just too good to pass up. So I copped these on StockX. I sold 2 pairs of 350 V2s to get them.
Checks over stripes, yeah, that's what I like.
But I think it was worth it. These are so good. And of course I'm gonna get into that. And a quick pro tip, by the way, if you ever wanna pay resale for a sneaker that you missed retail, best time to get them is when everybody starts getting their pairs in the mail. So like, 4 or 5 days after the drop, probably look for those prices to dip. I got these for $600, which I think is probably the lowest that they're gonna be. I wear size 12. I think right now they're hovering right around $650. By the end of the year, I can see these going $700-800 bucks. So not too mad about that. But regardless, I'm just super happy to have these in the collection. Now, since these are kind of a special release, I wanted to go ahead and start off with the packaging. They did switch things up here. Some things I like about the packaging, some things I don't like about the packaging. The first thing is I think it's kind of weird that they went out of their way to make these so close to the originals, but they flipped the box on us. They went with the same box that we've been seeing on the Fearless pack. So all those Fearless releases, these Zoom Jordan 1s, and then they had like a few pairs of the mids and things like that. So all those Fearless shoes use this box, and then they went with the same box on these, which I thought was kind of strange. I don't know why they didn't go with the OG black and red. I actually do like this box, but I think on a pair that, again, they're trying to get super close to the OG, it would have been cool to have the OG box, but that's just me. Now the tag on these reads Air Jordan 1 High 85, not High OG like we're used to seeing. The style code is BQ4422600, so you know what to look out for if you go ahead and cop a pair of these for yourself. Colorway is Varsity Red, Black Varsity Red, with a retail price of $200 US. Yes, that's even higher than the $175 price hike that we've been seeing on Jordan 1s, and I paid even more than that, of course. But I think that's okay, just due to the packaging that we get here, as well as the materials, which I'm gonna get into in just a little bit. All right, so when you open up the box, you're gonna see the paper on the inside, a little bit different than what we're used to as well. Usually we just get that kind of basic white paper. These, you get like a clear paper that's got the Air Jordan Wings logo, as well as the Jumpman and a 23 kind of all over. And then the sneakers actually come individually wrapped in these dust bags. So the dust bags, pretty cool. There's kind of like, there's a lot to talk about with these dust bags. So the first one that I wanna let you guys know, I didn't know this, but Seth Feller actually kind of pointed this out. The way that these are dyed, if you put your sneakers in these, the dye on these is actually gonna rub off on your shoes. So I would not store your shoes in these. Maybe just keep these off to the side. The shoes actually come wrapped in paper and then inside of these, and I think that's kind of just to protect that. So I guess they kind of already knew there was a problem. So the other thing with that is there's kind of like this idea that maybe there's way more than 23,000 pairs, but they wanted to kind of hype these up for the All-Star Weekend release. So they had a batch that they did with these dust bags that they kind of like, I guess, last minute decided to do. The numbered, or the way that you can see what the number is of your pair out of the 23,000 is on the bag. It's not on the shoe itself, which I really do not like. I really wish that they would have numbered the shoes, but if that story of there being way more than 23,000 pairs of these out there is true, that would make sense as to why they didn't number the shoes and they numbered the dust bag. That is what it is. I still think it's kind of cool that we get the dust bag. It's just something a little bit extra. I guess it makes that $200 price tag a little bit easier to swallow. But that's the packaging on these. I think that overall, I like the packaging. I like that they gave us a little bit more with this 85 release. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the shoes, the part that we've all been waiting for. So one of the other first things you're gonna notice is this big OG hang tag that comes with these. This is the same hang tag that came on the shoe when it first released in 1985. On the front, you've got the photograph. This is actually the logo, the Jumpman logo. They just pretty much made that the silhouette of this photo. That's where that came from. It's kind of cool. He's wearing the black toe Jordan 1s in the photo. And then on the inside, it goes into all the tech that's used on the shoe. So back in 1985, when you're grabbing your first pair of these, you could see all the tech that was in these. Of course, now it's all very outdated tech, but it's kind of cool to see exactly kind of like the different individual tech items on this shoe. Now the color blocking on these, I really do like. A lot of people have been calling these the reverse breads. I'm not gonna call them that because I don't really think that's what they are. So you can see like toward the back of the sneaker, it's exactly the same as the bread one, but then up on the front on the toe, it is flipped. So part of it is a reverse bread, I guess, but overall, I'm just gonna call these the Varsity Reds because I think that's kind of like the official name, and I think that more accurately describes the shoe. Now the other debate on these has been the materials used. You'll hear a lot of people saying the leather is trash, they're low quality, they're stiff, so on and so forth. So these are full grain leather, at least that's what the word on the street is. That is a step up above what we've normally been getting. We usually do not get full grain leather on Jordan 1s. Full grain leather is the highest quality leather that you can get. So the leather is gonna feel stiffer, but that's just because it's a thicker cut and it's real leather. So that plush, really soft leather that we get most of the time, or I should say a lot of times, is not even real leather. So I actually really like the materials used on these. In my opinion, after multiple repeated wears on these, they're gonna break in and they're gonna look really good. Now I could be wrong about that. Maybe everybody who's saying that these are trash is right. I think really the only way to tell is gonna be after time. We're gonna see how these hold up. So I'm actually gonna be making sure probably like a year after this video, I'm gonna go ahead and do like a year later video to kind of show you guys how these are looking. I might even do like a 6-month update as well, because I really think that's interesting. I really like that they went with full grain leather, but who knows, maybe I'm gonna regret that later on. But just like any normal pair of Air Jordan 1s, it's a full leather upper. Then you do have this polyurethane rubber midsole and outsole. You do have an air unit in the heel. Of course, it's encapsulated on the Jordan 1, so you can't see it, but it is there. You do have a nylon tongue. It's a black tongue with a black label and red lettering with the Nike Air lettering. Now these do come with 2 different pairs of laces. They come OG laced with the red laces, but they also do come with a pair of black laces, as you can see on this shoe here. I don't really know which one I like better yet. I think probably the black laces, but I'm not too sure. I did see somebody actually put white laces in these, and those look pretty good too. But I still think I like the red or the black a little bit better. Another thing that they upgraded with these is the insole. So normally we get that foam insole that's just flat, really doesn't do anything. This is a polyurethane insole. I do think this adds to the comfort of these, which I really do appreciate. Now the other difference between these and what we normally get is you get this kind of retro or vintage tag on the heel. This is, I guess, the same tag that they put on the originals. Up at the top it says Jordan brand rubber, so I'm pretty sure that's referring to the mold that they used for the outsole. I could be wrong on that. I'm not too sure. I haven't been able to really find the different meanings of everything on here. You've got the patent code. You've also got when they first came out, which was on November 14th, 1984, or maybe that's when they were originally made. And then right under that, you do have Nike Air branding as well in Varsity Red. So I think that pretty much covers it as far as the review of the shoe itself goes. But now I do want to do a comparison between these and my 2018 pair of Jordan 1 Shadows. So the first thing when you're looking at these two shoes that you're probably gonna notice is the difference in the leather. So again, these full grain leather, it looks stiffer, but these are gonna look a lot more soft. I've worn the hell out of these, so you can see they're pretty well broken in, but the leather on these is a lot softer. It does feel thinner, so a lot of people kind of say that, again, this is bad quality, and I think that's because we did get a lot of Jordan 1s that had some pretty terrible quality leather that was really plasticky and hard, but that's because it was a really bad synthetic leather, whereas these are a little bit stiffer just because the leather itself is a thicker cut and it's full grain leather. So Again, I could be completely wrong as far as which leather is better, but I do think this is going to be a lot more durable. Now, if you're somebody who just likes the softer leather, I definitely, obviously, can't tell you what you're going to like more or what you should like more. That's completely up to your preference. I don't know, I'm kind of torn because I really do like the soft plush leather, but I just think over time these are going to break in a little bit better, and they're going to last a little bit longer. So that's the first really big difference, is the leather itself. Now the other biggest difference between the 85 and the high OG is going to be the fit. So this is quite a bit smaller than the high OG. It's a lot narrower, but I'm actually going to just put these one on top of the other. So on the inside, I'm gonna match them up, and then you can see just how much the shadow hangs over the Varsity Red. I hope you can see that. So there's like probably like a ½ inch difference on the outside here. So that really translates to like a very different feel on foot. Usually with Jordan 1s, I do go true to size, but I've always kind of felt like if I had to, like if I came up on a pair that I wanted to get and somebody had like an 11.5, I'd probably get away with wearing them. I haven't tried on an 11.5, but 12 always seems to have just a little bit of extra room. Not too much to make it uncomfortable, but I've always kind of thought like I could probably half size down on these if I had to. I definitely would not half size down on these. They are like super true to size. My toe's like right at the end. So if you're somebody who sometimes sizes down by like a half size on Jordan 1s, definitely do not do that on these. So now we'll kind of get into more like visual aspects of these that really kind of are more aesthetic things that they've kind of changed, again, to make it more like the original on the 85s here. So the first one that they're making a big deal about is the shape of these. So the heel on the 85, it's a little bit more straight up, I guess, down the back, which I don't know, like I really, looking at these side by side, I actually don't see it as much, which I'm kind of surprised about because I could have sworn photographs that it looked a lot more straight. Yeah, I guess on the outside it looks a little bit different, but sorry. So you can kind of see that, especially like if you kind of squeeze the ankle collar here, they really straighten out on the back. These don't do that as much. So the 85s, definitely more straight down the back. And I think the pair that came in the airship pack, those, as far as I can tell, it's a little bit more straight than these even. But that's kind of like one of the biggest differences, as well as, see, like the height to me is like almost the same as well. Everybody was saying these are a lot higher cut. Hold on, let's pull out these here. Let's see if these are different maybe. No, I feel like the high OGs are even higher than the high 85s. A lot of people were saying these were going to be a higher cut, but I'm actually just comparing these for the first time right now. And these are actually a lot higher. And I think these are even higher. Yeah, so this pair of like Zoom Air Jordan 1s that came out a little while ago, these are like way higher than these are. So I'm actually kind of surprised on that. Like I said, this is the first time I've actually like compared them side by side during this video. I wanted to kind of like see along with you guys like what the biggest differences are. So shape wise, on the height, these actually look a little bit shorter than the high OG, which I'm definitely surprised about. You can also see the midsole on the high OG is a little bit taller. I hope that comes through there for you guys. And then the toe box. So if you look at the toe box of the 85 versus the OG, it's like, it's not square, but it's almost square compared to like how pointed the high OG there on the shadow is. The toe box is a very different shape. Really threw me off when I first saw them. Didn't quite like it, especially like on the top down. So on the side view there, I actually do prefer the 85s. Toe's a little bit more rounded, I think, which gives it a sleeker look. So I think overall I do prefer the high 85. to the high OG on the overall shape of the toe box. It's going to keep its shape better than these, as you can see after wearing them and breaking them in. This shape has kind of like, I don't know, gotten a lot softer. But again, I've worn these like an insane amount. I really like Jordan 1s. I think they're super comfortable, so they really kind of get their miles, that's for sure. Now, something that definitely is higher on the high 85 versus the high OG is the tongue height. So I'm hoping you guys can see that. The high 85, the tongue definitely comes up quite a bit higher than the high OG. I think that's a cool look. I really do like that, actually. Now, something else about the tongue is the leather on the toe box starts up a lot higher on the tongue than it does on the high OG. Now, I think that's gonna help keep the tongue straight, because one thing that really drives me nuts on Jordan 1s is how the tongue ends up going sideways. I don't know, maybe not everybody else is bothered by that quite as much, but it drives me nuts. So I'm gonna see if I can get this on camera really quick. I don't know if you can see how the leather on the toe box actually starts up a lot higher on the tongue than it does on the 85 than it does on the shadows over here. So I think that's gonna help kind of like keep the tongue in place, since it's, you know, sewed in quite a bit higher up on the tongue. So another visual change is gonna be the strap on the ankle there. So on the high 85, it's very square. You can see the shape there. It's almost completely squared off. It's a little bit rounded on the bottom. But then if you look at the shadows here, it's very, very rounded, especially on the bottom. And it's quite a bit thinner than on the high 85. So you can see that there. So on the high 85, the wings logo is a lot different than on the 18 high OG. I'd say on the 85, it's just a lot more pronounced. On the high 85, the black is actually inset in the leather, and the lines are raised, and then it's the opposite on these. This kind of just is a lot more crisp of a look, I think. I really do like it a lot better on this high 85. All right, so now let's talk about the outsole. So these have a lot more wear on them, but the details kind of like in the circular pattern are a lot different between the high OG and the high 85. On the high OG, there's a lot more, I guess, details in the ridges. So you can see on the high 85, it's almost smooth. And then over here on the shadows, there's a lot of detail in there. And then you can see the toe shape is a lot different too, on the 85 versus the high OG. And then the star pattern on the high 85, funny, is actually a lot more pronounced than on the high OG. So there's a lot of differences. The midsole pattern is also very different. So you can see that there, hopefully. That's the shadows. And that's the high 85s, Varsity Red. So there's a lot of differences on these. And then we'll go ahead and look at the insole as well. So I actually grabbed my Game Royals just because, like I said, I've worn the hell out of those shadows. So I honestly feel like if I try and take the insole out of those, they're gonna like rip or deteriorate. But you can kind of see with the Game Royals there. Hopefully it'll focus, there we go. So it's just this really like soft, flat, like almost pointless insole to have in there. Not super comfortable, not very durable. And then again on the high 85, you have this really kind of like thick polyurethane sole. It's the same insole that came with the Black Cement 4s that came out last year. Same thing with the Infrared 6s that came out. It's that nice thick polyurethane insole. Does make a big difference in my opinion, so I'm really glad that the high 85s came with these. So I hope you guys like that comparison there. That's as many differences as I can think of between the 85 and the high OG. Obviously a lot of differences there. You know, if there's any that I missed, definitely let me know down in the comments. And also let me know if you copped a pair of 85s if you like the 85s more than the OG, if you didn't get them. Either way, just let me know kind of what you think between the two. Also let me know if you're a fan of this full grain leather, or if you're one of the people who thinks that this is a terrible quality leather. I personally, again, like I said, I think that these are gonna break in a lot better over time, but maybe I'll be eating my words in 6 months or a year. I guess we'll find out. Now, if you're new to the channel, first of all, thank you for stopping by. I definitely appreciate you checking out the video, but I am doing a giveaway on these Air Jordan 5 Michigan Inspires. These are pretty much dead stock. I literally wore these one time in my review of these for the On Feet. Has not been on my foot since then, so they're pretty much dead stock. I want to give them away to somebody who wants these. They just don't really fit my style, so I want to give them to somebody who does want them. So I'm going to go ahead and link to the video up here in the corner that has all the rules. If you want to, go ahead and check the description down at the bottom too. I'm going to give you the link with the time to go to. I tried putting the timestamp link in the description before and that didn't work so well. So I'm going to let you know where to skip ahead. That way you can just get straight to the rules. I don't want to make you have to watch a whole other video if you don't want to. But it's pretty easy to enter. You can get multiple entries as well. I've only got like 35 more subscribers till I hit 500. And that's when I'm going to be giving away this pair of Jordan 5 Inspire. So as always, guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you're notified when a new video is posted. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Later.